Are you a mom or dad living in Florida wondering if you should homeschool? Maybe you've been thinking about it for a long time but don't know how to get started. Today's video is for you. Hi everyone, my name is Alex, and today we're going to be talking about homeschooling in Florida. I've had lots of parents ask me how to get started homeschooling in Florida. Our family has been homeschooling for the past 6+ years. And so this video will explain to you all the ways that you can get started homeschooling in Florida. I made a slideshow for my Instagram, so that's how I'm going to be talking about these topics. The Instagram posts will be right here on my right, and I'll be talking about them while they appear on the screen. Fast facts about homeschooling in Florida. Number 1, schooling is only required for ages 6 through 16. Age matters more than the grade here. Your child doesn't need to be registered for schooling until they're 6 years old. Next, no qualifications are necessary to teach your child. You don't need any degrees, certificates, or any kind of training. Don't let that shock you or discourage you, because many private schools don't require teaching certificates either. As long as you have a passion for teaching your child, you're able to do this. Number 3 is you don't have to have any immunizations. You can, but they're not required. And number 4, there's no state mandated curriculum or subjects, so you can teach exactly what you want to teach your child. Now, the most popular way that people homeschool in Florida is by registering with their county. The way that you do this is you send a letter that's called the letter of intent. You send that letter in to your superintendent of your county. So if you live in Broward County, it would be the Broward County superintendent. The letter of intent needs to have your student's full legal name, as well as your home address and the child's birthday. Other than that, no other information is required. This year, I went to go register my kids with the county. We later changed the way that we homeschool, but I registered with the county earlier in the year, and they gave me a packet that was 10 pages long. I asked if this was completely required, and they said that it was, and I was 100% sure that it was not. So I asked again politely. I asked them to maybe ask a supervisor to just double check to make sure all of this information was necessary. It was asking for a lot. And she came back after asking her supervisor and said, "Oh no, sorry, it's just the name, the address, and the birth date, and that's it." This letter of intent covers you up until the end of your child's homeschooling education. If you decide to homeschool until 6th grade, or you decide to homeschool all the way through, that letter of intent will cover you. The moment that you decide not to homeschool anymore, you would have to send in a letter that is a letter of termination. Basically, what you're doing is terminating your homeschool program. If you register with the county, you're required to keep an annual portfolio. It's basically a binder with examples of your students' work, as well as a detailed outline of different things your student has done throughout the year. Also, titles of reading material should be listed out so that the portfolio has tons of information of what your student has been doing in the past year. You must keep this portfolio for the next 2 years. And during that time, the superintendent is able to request viewing of the portfolio. They just have to give you 15 days written notice. Each year, on the date that you submitted your letter of intent, on that day the following year, it is required for you to have an annual evaluation by a certified Florida teacher. The teacher can be anyone that you choose, and they don't need to be actively teaching at this time. All that teacher does is examine the portfolio that you have created of your child's work, and they have a conversation with your student about what they learned this year. This is not a test, and your student will not be graded or compared to other students in their grade. The only thing that this is doing is just making sure that your child did learn something this year, especially compared to the previous year. The teacher then signs a document stating that they did the annual evaluation, and you submit that to the same place where you submitted your letter of intent. Alternatively, you could not have the evaluation by a teacher. Instead, you could select to take a standardized test. There are various nationally normed standardized tests that you can choose from. They just need to be given by a teacher with a teaching certificate. The second and increasingly popular option is to sign up with the Step Up Personalized Education Program, PEP for short. This is a scholarship, but it also functions as homeschool registration. Instead of registering with the county, your student is registered with the state of Florida more broadly. This scholarship can award your family up to or beyond $6,000 per student. The funds do not come from people's private taxes, and it doesn't take money away from public schools. What it does is allow private businesses in Florida to elect to donate money to this scholarship fund. Upon donating to the fund, they get a tax break, so it's a win-win. If you decide to go with the Step Up PEP scholarship, you don't have to register with the county. In fact, you do need to make sure that you're not registered with the county in order to receive the funds. The only requirement at the end of the year for the PEP scholarship is to take an annual evaluation. There are many different options for this annual evaluation as well, and some of them can even be administered by the parents. PEP funds come in the form of reimbursements, where you spend the money first, submit receipts, and then you get reimbursed either directly into your bank account or into an account that they have given you that they will deposit money into. Or you can shop on their online marketplace, which really has a large assortment of options to choose from. PEP funds will cover a variety of homeschool education materials and tools, things such as books and workbooks, as well as outdoor play equipment, ballet and jiu-jitsu classes. It'll cover things like musical instruments and music lessons. It really is such a broad list of items that will be covered by this scholarship. As far as the online marketplace, I feel like they're adding new things all the time to their website to make it easier for people to directly buy from the website. That way you don't have to wait for the reimbursement. Occasionally, it will take a good time to get the reimbursement back. The longest that my friends have said that it's been for them is probably 2.5 months, but usually things get reimbursed in a quick fashion. I'm not being paid to do this video, so I have no connection with Step Up or any kind of homeschooling program or anything. I just want to get this information out to people because it's been a huge blessing for our family to be able to have these options with homeschooling. There are 2 other ways that you can homeschool in Florida. The third way that you can homeschool in Florida is to hire a private tutor. You can hire someone to teach your student. They just have to be a certified Florida teacher, and they would be required to keep records as if they were a school. For your student, they would be able to teach a variety of different subjects as long as they have been trained to teach for those grades. The fourth way that you can homeschool in Florida is by registering under an umbrella school. An umbrella school basically functions as a private school that oversees your family's homeschool education. They would take the place of a local school official's oversight. As you can see, there's a lot of ways to get started homeschooling in Florida. We have a lot of freedoms here, thank God. At the end of the day, it's your decision. You're the parent for your child, and it's your responsibility what kind of education that they get. For a lot of families, homeschooling is not an option, but if homeschooling is any option for you, I would highly encourage you to give it a try. Like I said earlier, you do not have to be an expert. You don't have to have a degree to be able to teach your student. I would say all you need is a passion for teaching your child, a passion for seeing them learn and grow. That will inspire you to learn alongside them. And anything that you're not proficient in, you can also outsource. There are loads of homeschool resources, classes, co-ops, and more that you can pull from in order to fill in the gaps where you might feel like you might be lacking in a particular subject. So I hope at this point you know all the 4 ways in order to homeschool in Florida, and I hope that this video was really beneficial to you. If this video was helpful for you, consider liking and subscribing to my page for more homeschool tips and information. If you have any questions regarding homeschooling, please leave them in the comments. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about, so I'd be glad to answer any questions or point you in the right direction. This is Alex from Good Mothering. Thank you for watching.